Let's take you to the diamond, because when naming the best pitchers in the majors, you won't find a list without Tigers ace Tarik Skubal. The two-time All-Star just tallied a second straight season with a sub-2.5 ERA and is on the verge of winning back-to-back AL Cy Young Awards. With that said, we are so lucky here at CBS Sports HQ to welcome pitcher Tarik Skubal to the program. Tarik, we appreciate the time so much. I want to start big picture here and talk about the Fall Classic. The World Series to this point has been a lot of fun. We saw the Blue Jays battle their way back, so we're going to a Game 5, a pivotal Game 5. What have you thought about the baseball season finale this year?
Yeah, it's been an outstanding series. It feels like it has 7 games written all over it, which is a ton of fun. Obviously, Game 5 is going to be fun to watch. Game 3 was long. I didn't make it all the way through 18 innings, but I woke up and wasn't surprised to see Freddie Freeman hit a walk-off. So it's been a great series to watch, as a fan and also, as a player of the sport.
Talk about Freddie Freeman real quick before we move on. I mean, man, his second big moment in recent memory, he had the walk-off in the World Series last year and then this one. How good of baseball is he playing right now?
Yeah, he's built for that moment. The moment last year in the World Series, the walk-off grand slam, and this one, it kind of felt like it was inevitable. I think there was a moment in like the 11th inning or something that the bases were loaded and he was up again, and I was like, okay, here we go again. And it didn't happen, and I was surprised. And then when I woke up the next morning, I'm like, I'm not surprised at all that the game ended that way. And but it's been fun. Two really good teams, and Freddie's obviously a big key piece for the Dodgers.
Yeah, a lot of big names in there. We wish that you were playing too, but we'll leave it where it is. I do want to talk about some postseason accolades that you're in the mix for. Of course, I mentioned it in our lead-in here. On the verge of back-to-back Cy Young Awards. It's not often that we see it happen in back-to-back years. What's been working for you in the past seasons that's had you constantly in these conversations?
Yeah, I think the first and most important thing is I've been healthy and just on the field. And, my routine, the coaching staff that's around me, my teammates, the organization, they do a great job of supporting me and, bringing out the best version of myself every 5 days. And a lot of credit goes obviously to the catcher too. I think the guy behind the plate has a big impact on who I am and what I do on the mound. So, there's been a lot of help. Obviously, just being healthy and being on the mound always helps, to be able to accomplish things like this. But there's a lot of hard work that goes on behind the scenes too. And I could be here for another hour listing people that I'm thankful for and that have made this impact on me.
Yeah, I'm looking at the work behind you. We can kind of see a peek at that Cy Young Award over that shoulder of yours. It looks quite
hopefully
nice.
I got room for 2.
Yeah, that way you can book it and you can have one on either side. You were also recently nominated as the AL Pitcher of the Year by the MLBPA, and that's an award that comes directly from your peers. How good does it feel, I guess, to have that validation from the rest of the league that you were in this conversation for this award?
Yeah, it's a huge honor. The Cy Young is written by writers, voted on by writers of the MLB, and the peers one, it just means a lot, and it means a lot because these are the guys you compete against, for me, every 5th day out there. These are the guys I compete with, and to, get the recognition from those guys. It's pretty special. I don't overlook it at all. I got a ton of respect for everybody that plays this game, and to be in this position and be voted on by your peers to win this award is really, really cool and something I don't take for granted.
Yeah, it's always nice to be recognized by those around you as well. Big picture here, Tarik. I don't know. I always want to say Tarik, but Tarik.
That's fine. You can call me whatever. I don't care.
I'm going to call you by your name that you were given. When we look at free agency, we know free agency for you is coming here in 2026. I know that it still feels far away. I don't want to pigeonhole you into any specific conversation, but have you thought about what your life in baseball will look like in the coming years?
No, not a ton. Not a ton. I try not to get too ahead of myself in anything that I do. I want to live my life day by day, be present. I don't want to try and, figure out what's going to happen a year from now or whenever that day hits. Currently I'm a Detroit Tiger and I'm trying to win a championship for the city of Detroit, and that's what matters to me. So I don't really, think about it, too far out in front. That's why I have an agent. I trust those guys. They do a great job for me and provide me with every resource and all the knowledge that I need to have. But for me, I play the game, and that's kind of how I want to keep it. I love the game of baseball, and I don't want to lose that love. So that's kind of how I choose to operate things.
I'm sure that is music to Tigers fans' ears as well. But really, the entire city of Detroit has just been humming over the last few years with this renaissance of sports. Of course, you guys have had tremendous seasons. We're seeing the Pistons come to life. The Lions, Aiden Hutchinson just got that big extension today. What's it like being in that market, the fans of Detroit, being able to put on for that city? What has that experience been like for you?
Yeah, and I don't want to overlook the Wings. They've been
The
off to a
Wings as
great
well,
start,
yes.
So it's fun. It's a sports town. It really is. The fans come up and support, and I've felt that support for the last 5 years, and hopefully the rest of my career I get to play in front of those fans, and it's a ton of fun, But kind of what the Lions did is they led the way, and we kind of rode their coattail a little bit into our own little postseason, and then what the Pistons were able to do last year and what they're kind of doing this year. It's a ton of fun to be a part of, and it's obviously exciting anytime you get to go into downtown Detroit. It's really cool because all three venues are right there. You can walk to all three of them. They're close, and I think as a fan that experience is a ton of fun. I know when I get back to Detroit at some point this offseason, and go to some sporting events, I always look forward to it just because the environments are so great. For regular season games, they definitely don't feel like regular season games, and that's kind of what the fans in Detroit do for us.
You mentioned kind of riding the coattails of the Lions and the energy that they have had under Dan Campbell. I've also been told that you're kind of a coffee guy. When you go to coffee shops, you actually change your name so that they can get it correctly, like I got it wrong. I don't know if you are familiar with Dan Campbell's coffee order, but I'm going to read it to you. He orders,
I've heard this.
it says 2 venti. I wonder if that's a double venti Pike's Place medium roast with 2 shots of espresso. Are you drinking that? Are you touching it with a 20-foot pole? What are you doing with that order?
So I'm an iced coffee guy always. I don't know. I think the hot coffee just heats me up too much, So I like to drink, iced coffee, and then my drink, I guess, is an iced Americano. So if that was iced, an iced Pike Place roast, whatever it is, with 2 shots, I'd probably drink that. Because on days that I pitch, I'm probably drinking, 3 to 4 shots of espresso, probably 2 hours before the game, just to kind of get me going. So yeah, I think I can kind of relate to him. I think he's a little crazy, which I love. He works hard, and I know he cares about his guys, so I got a ton of respect for what he does. But I guess 2 of those, that's a little much for me. I'm not built like that. I think that's like the football tight end thing for him. But for me, it's 2 to 3 shots a day, and on days I go, it's probably 3, probably 4 most days, and that's just what gets me going, gets me in the right mindset, gets me ready to go out there and compete.
Are you spacing them out? Are you like taking them to the head here? How are we dealing with the 4 shots of espresso? That's crazy too.
Yeah, so it's just an iced Americano with 4 shots. Usually iced Americanos come with 2. I usually just have them throw in 4, and like 3 hours before the game, I'll start sipping on it, and I usually finish it probably 2 hours and 15 minutes before the game. And you start to feel the jitters and all that good stuff, and then you get going, and your routine starts, and then it's fun. I miss it. I might just go fire up and have 2 shots just to feel something right now.
Just to feel alive. I had a Celsius one time, and I literally thought I was going to die. So I feel like I can't get on the Dan Campbell board there, but I'm so glad that it's what gets you going. Before we let you go, I kind of want to stay on the theme here of your pregame routine, if you will. I also have been told that you like to do crosswords. So just kind of walk me through, with the coffee, with the iced Americano here, walk me through what your game day prep looks like.
Yeah, so 3 hours before the game is when I sit down. I usually have a little bit of a meal. I have my iced Americano to my left, and or to my right, whichever way, and then I got a pen in my hand, and I have the crossword right in front of me. And depending on which day it is, there's some different difficulties, and I know there's some guys in the clubhouse that are good at them, like Dingler and Jake Rogers. So if I can't finish it, they usually come and help me out. But it usually takes me probably 20-ish minutes to do that, and I'm drinking coffee. It's kind of like my old man ritual, I guess. I kind of feel old saying that, but it's fun. It's fun. Those things are kind of fun. I used to do them every day, but as my routines kind of got a little bit different and little out of the norm, I stopped doing them daily. But I make sure to do them every single start day. And yeah, see, now I'm gonna go fire up get me an iced Americano, go print it out and do it at home. I think that's I miss it for sure.
Listen, your Wednesday evening is shaping up quite nice. You got an iced Americano and a crossword waiting for you. Tarik Skubal, this has been so fun. Congratulations on all your success and best of luck going forward.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
I feel like I need an iced Americano now. Maybe I need to give it another try. Who knows? We talked about the Cy Young, of course. Tarik Skubal could be the first back-to-back Cy Young winner, by the way, since Pedro Martinez back in 2000. That is how uncommon it is, the things that Skubal is doing. There's a look at some of those other names as well, too. We are excited for that Fall Classic to continue going in the MLB.